Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be looking at this Ounic tool bag, and we're going to be reviewing it as a camera bag. And that's an important distinction because although this bag was made as a tool bag, we're not going to be reviewing it in that context. We are going to be reviewing it to see how well it works as a camera bag, which means that it may be a great tool bag, but not such a great camera bag, or vice versa. So we're going to take a look and we're going to see what we can find out here. Now, the first thing I just want to say is that I've been using tool bags as camera bags for a long time because I find it's a really useful way to carry and store your gear. Tool bags tend to be very well designed, very well organized. They tend to carry a lot. They also tend to be cheaper than regular camera bags or camera backpacks. This bag here, this is a 20-inch tool bag, and it costs around $40 on Amazon, and it can carry a lot of stuff, and it's decently organized. So we're going to take a look at this bag, and we're just going to see, is this a bag that would meet my needs for carrying and storing camera gear? So let's go ahead and take a look at it. So as I said, this is a 20-inch lengthwise bag, which makes it big for a tool bag, but not huge. There are bigger tool bags. It is a medium priced tool bag. So let's go ahead and take a look here. So it's got the zippered top as opposed to the open top, and it actually has two zippers. Pull them up here. And they have a little loop in the zipper, which means you could lock these if you wanted to. These zippers themselves are decent quality zippers. They're reasonably smooth as they go back and forth. The hardware itself is a little thin. I've seen better quality zippers on a lot of bags. I've also seen worse quality zippers. I'd put these kind of somewhere in the middle. I wouldn't be surprised if these break eventually after some use, but they're okay. I can't be too critical of them. In addition to the zipper, we have a handle, two handles. And this handle has a little rubber / plastic grip on here, which is reasonably comfortable and makes for a decent carrying experience. This plastic will probably start to wear over time, but it's not bad. It's going to be more comfortable than carrying the actual handles. The handles are made of a decent strap-like material. They're smooth, not super smooth, but smooth enough, and they're a little thin. They're not exactly heavy duty, but again, they would get the job done. The shoulder strap is made of the same material. The pad on the shoulder strap is a very thin pad and is really just a piece of cardboard or something, maybe some plastic. Maybe it's a piece of foam. Very thin foam. It's very hard, covered by a thin layer of material. This is not a comfortable shoulder strap. The hardware on the clips is not great. It's a single piece of metal that's kind of been bent over and then sort of attached to the other piece of metal, and it just sort of holds in place by pressure. And I could see this bend here weakening over time and the pressure becoming less, and or the bend actually causing the metal to weaken and eventually break. So I'm not really impressed with this shoulder strap. If I were to use this for my own camera bag, I would replace the shoulder strap with either a third-party strap or one that I had around the house that was better than this one. It will do the job, but it's hardly great. Overall, the build quality seems reasonable. The material is feels reasonably heavy duty. It's not premium. It doesn't feel super plush. It does feel like it will stand up to some wear and tear. The threading is mostly clean. You know, there are a few places where you have a few loose threads, and you have a few places where the threading doesn't line up exactly, but it's not bad. So now let's go ahead and take a look at exactly what this bag is going to hold, because that's obviously the most important part. So this bag has a combination of internal pockets, external pockets, and then a big dump area in the middle. So we'll start on the outside here with these external pockets. There is one big one at either end of the bag. Now they're a little hard to see because of the way the bag is set up, but there's one here, and then there's also one here as well. Now these are the biggest pockets in the bag, and these are pretty good size. These are my favorite pockets, and I'm actually using them to store 2 on-camera microphones that are relatively delicate. So if we look here, we can see down here we have a Sennheiser stereo mic. I'm gonna try to pull this out here gently. So that mic is in here with the windscreen on, and on the other end I'm keeping this other stereo mic. This is the Rode stereo video mic, which I like to keep on, which I keep it on this end. And again, a pretty good size mic when you put the windscreen on, and it's nice that I can keep these at the end of the bags here and just easily take them out, put them back whenever I'm going to attach them to a camera or a tripod. It's a very convenient place to put them, and it keeps them reasonably secure, I feel. Now on the side here you have another set of pockets. I'm just going to rotate the bag here towards the light. On this side we have 3 very flat pockets. Now that's something to note. These are extremely flat. You would not be able to get anything in here that was too wide. And additionally, there are internal pockets, which we'll take a look at right on the other side of these, and they sort of share the same space. So if you load these pockets up, you get less space inside. If you load the inside pockets up, you get less space outside. I have a couple lights, which I'm often just pulling out and using. So I have a light in that pocket, and then in this center pocket I have another light. Actually no, in here I have 2 power bricks, 10,000 milliamp night core, which I also use a lot, and they're in a good access place. And then at the end I have the light. So here's the other light. And then I'm going to rotate the bag, and we're going to look at the other side. We have 3 pockets on this side as well, and now these pockets are bigger, which is nice. These pockets give you a little bit more space to store things, and they also have these flip over Velcro tops, which is nice because it allows you to store stuff and then keep the little bits and stuff from falling out, or keep them protected. So let's just take a look at what I've been able to store in here. So in this pocket here I have a bracket, and then additionally I have 2 large and heavy batteries. Then in this middle section here I have my monitor, which is nice because this is sort of a plastic, inexpensive monitor. Being able to keep it outside here makes it easy to access and keeps it, again, relatively safe. Then in this end pocket here I've got a little microphone and accessory collection, video micros by Rode with a couple shock mounts, cable, and I can just keep all this stuff right in here. And when I need these little microphones, I can just reach in, grab them. I know exactly where they are, and I can take them out, use them, and then put them right back. So that covers the external pocketing of the bag. Now we go inside the bag here. And once we get inside, you'll see the really huge advantage of using these big tool bags. You can really get a lot of stuff into this bag. Even with all this stuff in here, it's still, the top still closes down and it still zips up. You could put more in here if you wanted to and still zip the top. And of course, if you didn't want to zip the top, you can just keep it open, and then you really have a lot of space to work with. So you can see all the stuff I have in here, and basically what you're looking at is you're looking at 2 parts. You've got the big center area, which is really just a big dump box where you can just put a bunch of things in. And then you've got 3 pockets on this lengthwise side, 3 pockets on this lengthwise side, and then a pocket on each end, with the end pockets being a little bit bigger and looser than the pockets on the side. The pockets in here are pretty tight, thin, skinny pockets. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing because I have plenty of gear that sort of fits that profile. So let's take a quick little look here at what we've got in the bag. So first of all, we have a camera. This is an A7C in a cage with this protective cover on it. And then I have a pretty big lens. It's got its own little bag in there as well to keep it safe. And then we have a roll of gaffer tape, and we have some furry windscreens here for various mics. Additionally, I have this shade for my monitor. Then I have a pouch that has some ND filters in it, a shock mount, and a tripod, switch pod, another shock mount for a microphone. And then we have my H4n Pro, and then I have a Rode stereo bar, and now we have the stuff that is remaining in the side pockets, and we can see it a little more clearly now. So again, what we have here is we have these two pockets at the end. Okay, so this one down here, I've got two big USB cables. These are 10 foot each, so that's 20 feet of cable. This Anchor power supply, and then I just have this tool, which I use for a lot of different things. You just keep it in the end pocket. It's easy to dig it out when you need it. Down on this side here, we have this little cover for a light, and then we have a couple sets of rings, step up and step down rings for my filters. Okay, so then we have the side pockets. Now, as I said before, the side pockets are pretty flat. So for example, on this side here, I have several filters, ones that I use most commonly in their little plastic containers. So a filter here, and a filter here, and then another filter here. So they're the perfect sort of profile for these flat, narrow pockets. And since I use these filters all the time, having them right here, I just reach in, grab the filter that I want, put it on the camera. When I'm done, pop it right back in here. I don't have to dig for it or look for it. And then on this side here, we've got a little gray card, and over here I've got a power adapter for my H4n Pro. Then down here I have a battery charger for those two big batteries I took out earlier. And then I just have my H1n, and that, I think, is everything I have in here. And if you look in here, you can see now that it's empty, this hard plastic bottom, which is both waterproof and also will protect your gear if you put it down on a regular surface or a rough surface. And it goes up about a ½ inch to an inch. Now, it's not padded, so if you had delicate gear, you would probably want to put some kind of padding at the bottom. If you have something like your camera, you definitely want to wrap it, as I did, in a little protective case, or my lens in a little protective case. But it does provide you with good protection from the ground. So that's pretty much it. So what I want to do now is I'm just going to fold this bag up a little bit here. Now it's empty. I'm just going to move it off the table because I just want to take all the gear that I had in this bag. And again, this bag wasn't completely full. I could have put more in, but that's a good sample of what I would take. So I'm just going to take this bag off the table. And we're just going to take the gear here and just sort of pile it up. So there you go. This is my pile of gear, and it's all fit in that bag. So that is the strength of these tool bags, is they can fit a lot of stuff. I feel like it could use a few more pockets, and I feel like the build quality could be better. So I am going to try another bag. I've got my eye on a couple more that are more expensive than this bag, but do have more organizational space. Looks like they might be more flexible and more useful, and may actually be a little bit bigger in some cases. But overall, I think this Ounic tool bag works pretty well as a gear bag for your filmmaking equipment. So thank you very much, and I will talk to you. Bye bye.